Hello, I'm so excited that you're with me today for the Mineral Mastery class and webinar, where I'm going to be talking about minerals, how they truly are the spark plugs of your life. And before we dive in, I just want to share a little bit about me. So, I am Sarah Davies. I'm the owner of Sarah T Wellness, and I am a certified personal trainer and integrative health practitioner. And I've done like kettlebell certifications, movement and mobility. But my passion now truly is not only fitness, but also integrative health and functional medicine and getting the root cause of many women's symptoms. So, what I really love to specialize in, though, is women that are dealing with bloating, inflammation, and just want to get lean and build healthier habits by getting to the root cause of those symptoms. So, also, some fun facts. I love spending time in nature. I lived in Colorado for 5 years, and I love hiking. I love snowboarding. And we have a beautiful puppy named Miles. He is 10 months old, and he is 70 pounds, which is wild, but he is so, so cute. My husband's a personal trainer as well. And I personally have my own story when it comes to getting into functional medicine, where I struggled a lot with burnout, fatigue, and anxiety for years until I took a holistic approach to my health. When I started to do functional labs, blood work, and but really did more of those functional labs to really see what is going on inside my body. I did a gut bacteria test, and then I also did the minerals and metals test, and it really gave me a lot of answers and light bulbs went off in my head of like, this is why I've been feeling a little off. This is why I've been feeling a little lower energy, or this is why, I sometimes just don't, feel that great after certain foods and things like that. So, really opened my eyes, and that's why I'm so passionate about it. And it helped me heal, it helped me feel way better energy wise, feel way better just on a day to day basis, and my gut too. It just feels so good to finally be at a good place. So, I love meeting new people and hearing their stories. That's also one of my passions. So if you are new, introduce yourself, reach out to me on Instagram at Sarah with an H TM Wellness, and I would love to chat with you. Like if you like, I tuned into this video. If you had any takeaways, I would love to hear those. But thank you so much for being here. And before we begin, I just want to say that this presentation is for educational purposes. It's not to constitute medical advice. These materials that I'm providing are not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease or prevent, and should not replace any professional medical guidance. So please consult your doctor or healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet or your health. I just want to make sure I make that clear. And these are all the topics we're going to go over. So we have this mineral mastery presentation today, and we're going to talk about why minerals matter, what they are, the roles that they have, women specifically, and how that they play a role with different minerals, and how do minerals become depleted, signs of mineral depletion, replenishment through food, supplementation, considerations, and lifestyle factors for mineral health, the balance of minerals and how that's crucial, and then also the key mineral ratios. Lastly, we'll talk about where to start. If you were like, okay, cool, I know all this information, but how do I know what my mineral levels are? And that's where I'll share more about a functional lab test that I personally have done and provide for clients to get to that answer of, are your minerals in balance or are they not? So, minerals, why do they matter so much? I just want to make sure I'm recording. Perfect. Okay, so minerals, why do they matter so much? These elements keep your body running smoothly. Okay, so I want you to think of minerals as spark plugs in your body's engine, just like a car. Without them, things just don't work right. They affect your energy, they affect your hormones, they affect your stress resilience, and more. So, we're going to explore how they impact your health and how you can support them. But it's important to know that they literally are essential for just feeling your best on a day to day basis. They're tiny little elements, right? They make everything run. They're so tiny, but so crucial. And what are they? So they're naturally occurring elements, and they come from the earth, and they're absorbed by plants through the soil and water. Our body does not produce these minerals on its own, so we must rely on food, especially fruits and vegetables, which most Americans with the standard American diet are have not enough fruit and vegetables in their diet, right? Coming from more sugars, more processed foods. And but that's where we get a lot of those minerals is from the fruit, veggies, the nuts and seeds, and animal products. These essential elements are passed along the food chain, making the quality of our diet directly linked to our mineral intake. So that's why I always tell my clients and people that food is medicine and it's literally information to your body because there's different elements of the food that helps you with your mineral levels. Without a variety of these nutrient-dense foods, our bodies can become deficient in these critical building blocks of health. So there's two categories, and there's major minerals that are bigger, they're macro, and those are calcium, magnesium, are needed in large amounts. Sodium, potassium are others. And then we have micro, we have the smaller trace minerals that are zinc and iron, selenium and copper. They're just as vital, even in smaller amounts. Next, we're going to go over the rules. So, like I said, they're like spark plugs that tell your car's engine to turn on and run. Minerals power your body's cells the same way. They're behind everything from your heartbeat to your mental health, your mood. Without them, your body just simply can't function. So it's required for almost every metabolic process in your body, from energy, immune system support, your blood sugar regulation, your hormone production, the ability to transport these nutrients across cell membranes, being able to contract and relax your muscles. So if you're someone that constantly gets like leg cramps or just muscle cramps, that could be an indication that your minerals are out of balance. Mood regulation, bone building, and then stress tolerance and just cognitive function overall. So as you can see, they literally do so much for our body, and they're just not talked about enough. So that's why the whole craze around electrolytes and making sure you're getting electrolytes in, that's what that is. Those they're talking about the major minerals, your sodium, your potassium, your magnesium, your calcium, and there's so many different brands out there. This I wasn't really going to touch on, but I just want to talk about it for a second, is there's so many different brands of electrolytes out there. A lot of them do have sugars, artificial flavorings, natural flavors. And so if you ever need suggestions of brands that I love and recommend that are clean, just message me. I would love to help. I mean, off the top of my head right now, it's Just Ingredients, Paleo Valley are two that I really, really love because made from seawater, coconut water, like really natural ingredients and no maltodextrin or any just fillers in them. So those are really helpful, especially if you are lower energy or just fatigued a lot. Like adding those in can be really game changing. So next, we're going to talk about women and minerals. So we have unique mineral needs because of these different phases of our life or different seasons, especially during menstruation, pregnancy, postpartum. These life stages are going to require additional minerals for hormone production, energy metabolism, tissue repair. So, for example, if you're someone that has gone through pregnancy, you can probably attest to this. When you were in pregnancy, you had an increased demand of just iron and calcium to really support fetal development. While postpartum is really focused on recovery, which relies heavily on replenishing all those depleted stores from pregnancy and birth and labor and all of that. And then stress is huge, not only through all these phases, but also just the stress load of whether it's being a mom or a high achieving woman, taking care of your family, all the things. When you're stressed, your body turns or burns through these minerals like magnesium, zinc, potassium much faster impacting everything from your mood to your immune function. And again, I can attest to this too, and I'm sure you can relate when you're in a more stressed state or you have a lot going on, you can start to feel your body getting burnt out because it's really running through all those minerals much quicker, which is going to deplete you. And, chronic stress can also really disrupt our digestion, making it much harder for the body to absorb the minerals that it needs. And I see that a lot of times, especially with specializing in gut health and bloating. A lot of women who are dealing with that tend to be under a lot of stress for a longer period of time. So next we're going to go into mineral depletion, how it is happening, especially with our modern lifestyle now. It just leads to more depletion. It's more common than we think, especially because our food is way less mineral rich than it used to be due to the agricultural practices like soil depletion, long food transportation times that reduce the nutrient content of our food. In addition, the daily stress, both physical and emotional, like I mentioned, is going to burn through those minerals much faster. Diet, in general, medications such as birth control and antacids, all of these interfere with your mineral absorption and your storage of those. Again, other diets like, vegan, keto, low carb may unintentionally limit a lot of mineral intake if not carefully balanced, especially when you're going vegan. You're missing out on certain vitamins, B vitamins, and iron. Keto, low carb, like there's just more chance of there to be a little bit of imbalance. And then these factors combined make it essential to be more mindful of really replenishing the minerals regularly. Pregnancy and breastfeeding are also another one. Overly filtered and processed water, those can also deplete minerals. And then what are some signs? So, this American chemist once said, you can trace every sickness, every disease, and every ailment to a mineral deficiency, which makes a lot of sense because, again, they're spark plugs to our body. So even if you have thyroid issues or hormone imbalance, there's still going to be an indication that you also have mineral depletion. It shows up in subtle ways. These are most of those signs: fatigue, brain fog, muscle weakness, hair loss, thyroid issues, period problems, muscle cramps, infertility, mood swings, brittle nails, blood sugar dysregulation, burnout, all these things, even just trouble concentrating. These symptoms can easily be dismissed, but it may indicate that your mineral balance needs support. So if you're experiencing these, if you're like, yes, I've had that, it's worth taking a closer look at your nutrition and just your lifestyle to see where you can make some improvements. I know for me personally, I've definitely years ago struggled with period cramps, a little bit of mood swings around that time, and honestly, just like some burnout, just some fatigue, and kind of dismissing that, which I think a lot of women do. So it's important to just really be mindful and listen to that. Postpartum depletion. So women are most successful most susceptible, I can't say it right now, during childbearing years. So let's talk about that. Growing a baby takes tremendous amount of energy and resources, and the body naturally prioritizes the baby's mineral needs over the mother's. So it's estimated that each pregnancy transfers about 10% of a mother's mineral stores to the baby. So even just that, you're going to become way more depleted. And then recovery and breastfeeding also continue to deplete these minerals, leaving women more susceptible to deficiencies during those years of childbearing. But replenishing those minerals is going to be crucial for just restoring that energy of the mom, the supporting the hormone balance, and maintaining overall health. And, things like calcium, things like magnesium, potassium, making sure you're doing an uptake of those during those childbearing years are going to be really helpful. There's this syndrome called postnatal depletion syndrome, and it's in this book, The Postnatal Depletion Cure. And it's more than just about feeling tired. It's a significant drain on a mother's mineral and nutrient stores. Many women experience that exhaustion, the mood shifts after childbirth, yet they don't really think about it as mineral depletion. Symptoms can be very similar to postpartum depression, so going beyond simple fatigue, and can include things like hair thinning, anxiety, even just heightened sensitivity to light and sound. And recognize these symptoms can really just help women take steps to, again, replenish nutrients for this long-term recovery. Inability to cope or other things, guilt or shame. Again, all these things I think were kind of dismissed or just like this is part of the process. But doesn't mean you need to be in that state. Doesn't mean you need to suffer, right? You can feel safe in your body again. You can start to feel good mentally with replenishing these minerals. We're just going through these, flying through. So, what do we do about it? Okay, I talked about replenishing, but I want to talk about the opposite of depletion, which is repletion, which is fullness. It means fullness. It means being abundantly supplied. So when your mineral stores are replete, your body has the energy and stamina to restore itself. This is what we're aiming for. Okay, we're not aiming for like as high amount as we can of these minerals. We're looking at a balance, a state of balance and abundance that supports healing and vitality. And as you can see by the statement, I love it. Once the body's energy and stamina are restored through nutrition, through food, through maybe some supplementation, it can heal other problems on its own, which is so amazing, which is where we want to go to. So, how do we do this? I think it's crucial to start with food. I mean, really, really making it simple by focusing on nutrient dense foods that are whole, single ingredients that are leafy greens, nuts, seeds, seafood, your meats, um, fruit and veggies, which are naturally rich in essential minerals. Looking for local food as much as possible, organic as much as possible. That's that's going to reduce the pesticides, the glyphosate, all those nasty things that we don't need in our body that are naturally depleting those minerals. So, local, organic as much as possible, properly prepared, cooking those, optimizing your digestion, filtering your water, adding even sea salt to water. It's going to help provide trace minerals that are going to support hydration and just cellular function overall. Other things with that you can include are like mineral-rich bone broths and using bitters or lemon water to really support your digestion and absorption. Avoiding caffeine and alcohol, those also are going to deplete your minerals substantially. So, simple shifts like these can really make a big impact on just restoring optimal mineral levels. And then next, I want to talk about supplementation considerations. So, supplements can help, but they must be used wisely. Okay, you don't want to just over supplement with one mineral that can really actually deplete a different one. So these are some simple ways you can start, which is because again, it's going to really depend on your health history, and without knowing your levels, it can cause issues, right? So be mindful of supplementing with single minerals. Some non-supplement supplements are just adding in sea salt to your water. Soleil water is Himalayan sea salt in water. There's trace mineral drops. I meant to bring them out here, and I don't have them with me, but Body Bio is a brand and they have trace minerals, and Elite, two different products that are amazing at adding to water that are going to really help especially if you're someone that gets filtered water or reverse osmosis or something like that. You want to replenish those minerals so you're not just overhydrating. You want that proper balance. So if you need, I get some discounts on those products. Send a message to me. I would love to get you access to that if that's something you're looking into. But again, minerals work synergistically with each other, so it's really important that you're supplementing wisely or using a professional like myself that's able to monitor your symptoms and also look at what you're truly needing. But usually trace mineral drops and these sea salt to water is a great simple way to start. And then adrenal cocktails, there's so many online, orange, like mixing lemon water with some sea salt, orange juice, coconut water, all these different ways where you can have naturally occurring minerals in these, juices and coconut water and bone broth that can be helpful for just supporting your adrenals. And then kind of went over this before with replenishing, but this is looking more at lifestyle. We talk about nutrition, we talk about simple ways with the trace mineral drops, but stress is going to really burn those minerals fast. So when you're stressed, your body uses up minerals like magnesium, potassium, and zinc at a way faster rate, which can really impact everything from your mood and your sleep to your immune health. So managing stress is huge. Like activities like yoga and deep breathing and adequate rest is going to help conserve these minerals. For myself, that's something I'm sorry, been taking seriously the past year or so of really just monitoring it. Really monitoring as best as I can. That's one thing that's so hard for me to do, but when your body is giving you signs, listen to it. Those are red flags for a reason. So for me, it's looking like deep breathing and just taking time to chill, read a book, listen to podcasts, chill on the couch and be okay with that. Okay. Making changes wherever you can with that. Sometimes it looks at changing your mindset when change is not possible. So really just switching your perspective too can be helpful with managing your stress, because a lot of times we work up a story in our head and we start overthinking, and that's going to cause more stress, right? So there's also this mental piece of staying positive and practicing gratitude that's going to get you out of that negative headspace that's going to cause more stress and more fatigue. So prayer and reading the Bible or whatever it means to you, right? To get to a state of relaxation, mindfulness, and grounding yourself. And then eating well, focusing on nutrient-dense meals, and doing this though in a state that you're relaxed. You're chewing food thoroughly. You are truly just being mindful when you're eating. It's going to help your digestion, which is going to help your absorption. Daily sunshine, getting outside, especially like once daily, right? Looking up at the sky, getting some natural sunlight, even some movement is so helpful. Okay. Prioritizing sleep, the rest, asking for help, finding community, all these things that are going to just support your lifestyle and your stress management. Working with a practitioner, right, like myself, that's really going to help you monitor these lifestyle factors and keep you accountable with that is so underrated and so needed for so many people, because it's so easy to just kind of dismiss, like, oh yeah, I'll do that, and like you'll try it for a few days and then get back into your regular lifestyle. So that's also something to consider if you have been struggling for a while. Preparing for big life events such as moving or surgery or pregnancy can also keep your minerals balanced and your body resilient when you're preparing for those life events. Like you're strategically planning, but also like getting your mindset in the right space can also really help your minerals. So, hope that's helpful. Okay, next we're going to talk about a delicate balance. So, I talked about how they work in synergy, and it's not about having more of one than the other, it's about having them be in balance, and that's crucial. They interact with each other in complex ways, and supporting that's going to support your energy, your hormones, and just your overall well-being. For example, sodium and potassium must be in balance for proper energy and cellular function. An imbalance in one of those can really throw off others, which makes it, again, kind of really delicate. And so we have these key mineral ratios. Okay, so each ratio is going to play a role. So we have calcium and phosphorus that work together for autonomic balance. So what that means is they help indicate whether your body is in a more rest state or a more active state. So that's where stress can play a huge role in impacting that ratio. Sodium and potassium, on the other hand, is energy and vitality, which is going to impact your cellular energy production and your hydration. Calcium and calcium and potassium is more balancing your thyroid function. So if you have high calcium, it's going to block your thyroid hormone from entering your cells. While potassium, on the other hand, is going to influence tissue sensitivity to these hormones. Another one is zinc and copper. They work together for immune function and hormone balance. So that's what's so cool about these is that it can tell us a lot of information about what state you're in, nervous system wise. Like, are you more in that rest and digest state? Are you more in that fight or flight? How's your thyroid function? Are you having low thyroid because of these imbalances with your minerals? And then zinc and copper is for immune function, hormone balance. So if zinc is more supportive for your immune health and your reproductive hormones, copper is more associated with your iron and your energy. So again, another key ratio that can tell us a lot about how's your immune function in your body, or even just your iron absorption. Disruptions in any of these ratios can really lead to a lot of those symptoms I mentioned before. Thyroid issues, weakened immunity, hormone imbalances, fatigue. So it just highlights the importance of like making sure these ratios are properly balanced for your minerals and your overall health. And then next, I want to talk about testing. Okay. Like I said before, this is a test I've done for myself, which tests not only just your mineral levels, but also your heavy metal exposure. And understanding your mineral levels really helps provide a clear picture of just what's your internal body's balance. And it helps also guide you into making a more personalized strategy for restoring that balance. And if you're curious about your mineral status, this is where it's really key to be like, let's test. It's one of the most cost-effective functional lab tests out there, which also is why I love it because it can tell us a lot of information and it's not that, hundreds or thousands of dollars. It's really affordable for a lot of people and it's included in my coaching program. So it helps us, you're not only getting that test, but you're also getting that support and accountability with myself. And what this test is the hair tissue mineral analysis test. It helps you show long-term mineral status by analyzing the mineral content in your hair, which helps tell us at least up to 3 months what your mineral levels have been like compared to a blood or saliva test or something like that that you get done. That's telling you at that exact moment what your mineral level is at. When you get blood work done and they're like, your sodium is good, your potassium, blah, blah, blah. Compared to this hair tissue test, we're able to see what has been the long-term mineral status for you, which is so key. So it helps show the long-term pattern, unlike those blood tests, which only capture just a snapshot in time. And this is an example off to the side where we're able to see kind of those levels of those different minerals. And before, again, to kind of share a little bit more about this test, I wanted to, like I said, it goes into, I'll just kind of list 11 nutrient minerals, right? So we have calcium, we have your magnesium, we have your sodium, your potassium, and iron, copper, manganese, zinc, selenium, chromium, phosphorus, and yes, that is all. So it's a lot. And it can tell us a lot about what's going on in your body. Like I said, your immune function and all those things. Not only that, but it also includes heavy metals. So, what your heavy metal exposure could be with lead, with mercury, with cadmium, with arsenic, and aluminum. More often than not, I see mercury and aluminum that could be a little bit higher than those other ones. So, personally, again, like I said, it's one of my favorite tests. When I did it myself, I was able to really see what I was exposed to, what am I excreting as far as minerals go, and gave us a lot of information of where those gaps are that I needed to fill in and prioritize. For me, it was definitely fatigue and stress and replenishing that with the correct minerals. And also, I actually ran through a heavy metal detox because I did have a little high aluminum for myself. So, a lot of things, a lot of information. It really transforms just for me my symptoms, and I don't have them anymore. So I know this was so much. I tried to go through it as fast, or not as fast as I could, but kind of cruise through these. But the key takeaways I want you to remember, okay, is minerals power everything in your body. Women have unique needs, especially throughout your cycle, throughout pregnancy, throughout postpartum. And the modern life that we have today can really deplete a lot of minerals. But balance is possible. With simple strategies, you can really restore this balance, right? With nutrient-dense foods, with mineral-rich hydration, and stress management. And testing with this hair tissue mineral analysis test can really help personalize your plan by revealing a lot of these unique mineral needs that you might need compared to someone else. It's around like 70%. I want to make sure I give you the right number. Yeah, 75% of Americans are magnesium deficient. So we know that. So that's usually where I'm like, yes, you probably need to supplement with that because we're just not getting enough in our diet. But majority of people are dealing with some blood pressure, like dysregulation as far as high or low, fatigue, hair loss, and all these symptoms we can really get answers by doing that test to really see like where we can, for you, like personalize that and get you to the right spot that you need to be. So now it's time to take action. Okay, so I want you to think of one simple way you can support your mineral balance this week. One of the most simple ones that I gave today was adding sea salt to your water, or maybe it's focusing on stress management for you, or maybe it's focusing on nutrient dense foods. Find what that is for you. I want you to think about that right now. Jot it down, put it in your phone notes, and really take action with this because it's really important to make sure you have that proper mineral balance and you're not just depleting them. And there's a lot you can do, like I shared, to help lifestyle wise that can make a huge impact. So let me go back to those just so you can remember. Right, so making changes where you can, monitoring stress. Maybe it's focusing on gratitude, focusing on eating in a relaxed state. Maybe it's daily movement. Maybe it's a consistent bedtime and wake up time. Or maybe it's really reaching out and working with a practitioner. Like, I am ready for a change. I'm sick of feeling the same way over and over. And you want to get to the root cause of like natural way to heal your body. And so those are, again, think of what that is for you. Think of one action you can take to help support your life. And then lastly, I want to go over my test, my program. Okay. So, like I said before, I think testing is the best thing you can do rather than just guessing and trying different supplements and taking all these minerals because you're told to take them. Like you hear from someone like, oh, women struck with iron and magnesium and all these different things. but then you don't even know, like, is it actually supporting your body? Are you actually absorbing that? Is it actually doing something? Or is it just causing, further issues? So for those who really want to implement this, they really want to start seeing what is my minerals and want this test, I created a 4-month resilient body and mind program that is for those that want to go all in on your health. It comes with personalized coaching and protocols, bi-weekly health coaching calls where I can keep you accountable, support you. You have daily communication with myself, which is amazing. You also get a 7-day functional medicine detox, as you can see in the picture, which helps a lot of people jumpstart in their liver detoxification. They notice a lot of clarity in their mindset. Some people lose a few pounds, like 5 to 10 pounds. Their digestion gets better. Like there's so much, like if there's one thing, I love the detox. It's so beneficial. But this is all included in the program. Tracking your progress, nutrition guidance, so making sure you are filling those gaps where you need to. And you also get a movement plan, workout plan. Again, depending on what you need and where you're at with that. And then the Heritage Mineral Analysis Test is something that I can send virtually to you. And this is all included. Okay, there's payment options available for all these. And right now I'm doing a special offer. If you message me Heal on Instagram, you get $500 off before 2026. So we have a few weeks left of 2025. And this is something I want to offer to all these new clients that are wanting to go all in. They want to understand their mineral levels. They want to really start feeling safe in their body again, have increased energy, reduce their bloating, reduce any acne, fatigue. Let's get to that root cause. Let's do some testing. And again, I'm offering this until the end of this year, so a few weeks left. Message me, Heal, if you're interested in this, or even if you, regardless, you would hop on a discovery call with me. We would talk about what's going on with you, what you're needing, and see if we're a good fit. So excited to be offering this. This is literally my passion. I love it because, again, you're able to transform your whole life, mentally, physically, and emotionally. So thank you so much for tuning in and being here. This is all my contact information. So best way to reach me is either email or Instagram. So info@SarahTWellness, and then my Instagram is listed there. And again, if you're interested in working with me, you can just reach out to me in those two ways. If you have any questions about what we went over today, either way, I'd love to help you in any way I can. I'm also going to be emailing out some resources. So there's additional resource document that I created that goes into YouTube channels and websites and books that you can read about mineral balance. So if you're like, I want to dive deeper into this and understand it, even just to watch some videos, I have that in that document. So I'll send that your way. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was valuable for you. I hope you got information out of it and can start applying it to your life. So think of one action you can do this week to really help with your mineral balance. As always, I'm sending you all the love and happiness. And thank you again for being here. Have a wonderful night.